Hello, everyone, and welcome to my little podcast episodes or Wellness Musings with Meg. It is Boxing Day, which is for me one of my favorite days. It's actually my little brother's birthday, and my little brother is my favorite brother in the whole wide world. He's also my only brother, but and it's going to be a difficult year for him, because he's turning 10. And I know it sounds crazy, but I was 15 when he was born. So for me, this is just madness that my little tiny baby brother is now in double digits. He is such a gorgeous little thing. I love him to bits. And yeah, I hope he has the best birthday ever. He'll probably be listening to this on his birthday, bless him. And he's going to be like, oh my gosh, you mentioned me in your podcast. So if you're listening, happy birthday, little man. I love you so much. Yeah. Boxing Day, let's talk about the gratitude, the blues that you get after Christmas a little bit, maybe things that you guys can maybe do to kind of fill the time between this kind of lull between Christmas and New Year. Yeah, let's get going. Let's get into it. Hi, my name is Meg, and you are listening to the Wellness Musings with Meg podcast. I am a fully qualified beautician and yoga teacher who has studied and worked in health and wellness since 2017. I have been obsessed with wellness my entire life and have always wanted to share my passions more. If you love health, wellness, and yoga and want to learn more, this podcast is for you. I will be bringing you all things wellness, from diet and lifestyle to beauty tips and tricks, and of course, yoga as well. So grab yourself a green tea and find a tranquil spot, and let's jump in. So I hope everybody had an absolutely amazing Christmas. Yeah, I always love Christmas. I love seeing my family. I live now about an hour and a half away from where I grew up, so it's really nice for me at Christmas. I get to see all of my family kind of in one hit. I feel like the Vicar of Dibley. If anybody has watched that, like, I end up having about 6 Christmas dinners within the space of 2 or 3 days. It's insane. I love it so much. For me, I actually use Christmas as quite a big resting period from yoga. And although yoga happens off the mat, I'm not meaning like I turn into some sort of maniac or anything like that. I'm obviously still a very, like, I try and be very tranquil and everything, and I tend to focus a lot on gratitude over Christmas. But when it comes to actual, like, yoga, like asana, pranayama, so like actual physical yoga practices and meditations, I genuinely take a break a little bit from them and just focus on being with my family, being in that moment, which I guess is technically still mindfulness anyway. And just being grateful for everything I have, all the meals that I've been given, the warm houses, just soaking up every second, because I don't get a lot of time with my family now I've moved away. And especially like my dad's side of the family, who are they live another 3 hours away from me, and they always have. So when I see them at Christmas, it's like extra special and like extra Christmassy. So I do tend to take a bit of a step back from everything yoga wise. And I think, like, a lot of people, I'm very lucky on Boxing Day because I have my little brother's birthday. So I kind of have this tradition where I get up on Boxing Day. My little brother is obviously an absolute bundle of joy and happiness and excitement. You know, he's had Christmas the day before, and then he has his second load of presents. And because he's like the baby of the family, it's lovely because Christmas to him is still magical. His birthday is magical. It's so lovely. I'm like, feel so blessed to have that. But we do have our little tradition on Boxing Day after Christmas Day of, like, we get up. He has his little like croissant tower because he doesn't have a birthday cake. My dad has my little brother in the morning, and then my stepmom comes and picks him up, and he stays with her for the rest of the day. So he kind of like has his like birthday breakfast with us, and then has all the fun and games with her as well. So we kind of have our little routine. I like to always get a walk in on Boxing Day as well. I think a lot of people can get like Boxing Day blues almost, where the hype is over, Christmas is done, the presents are done. This is a day on Boxing Day where and like between Christmas and New Year, where I like to focus on my gratitude here. So again, like I do take that break from like physical practice of yoga and meditations and things, but I do like to, I often will keep a notebook with me. And I will write down everything I'm grateful for. I'll usually put like in the front, I'm very lucky in that I still get quite a few presents. I am very blessed. Like my other half's family always spoil me rotten. My parents do, my grandparents do. I am an extremely lucky girl. I really, really am. So I like to kind of keep a log of who's bought me what so I can sort out thank you cards and things like that and just like thank everyone, whether it's a card or over text or over a call. But I then also will kind of write things as I go on that I'm grateful for, just because I really think it's important to focus on it. It's so easy after this kind of madness of opening gifts, seeing people eating lots of food, sleeping, like it's very easy to kind of forget how grateful you should be for all of that and how amazing and how lucky it is. Most people are off work at the moment, so again, like that's really lovely. If you're not off work, again, just like trying to be grateful for the fact that you are earning money during this period. Like, for example, I'm not able to teach my yoga classes because the gym I work in is actually closed on Boxing Day and New Year's Day, which happened to be like when I would teach. Um, and so for me, like it's quite difficult that I then can't go in and like earn a bit of money because realistically I need it to live. Like I miss on like 2 weeks worth of pay there. But you know, gratitude. I get to be with my family. I get to have this time to relax. I get to eat lots of good food. I get to see lots of good people. So, regardless of what's going on in your Boxing Day or in this lull between Christmas and New Year, just trying to find like the positive things. I also like to use this time to kind of get a head start on like, I am one of these typical people that likes to do the whole New Year's, new me, like okay, maybe not new me, but like I definitely love the whole sitting down, looking at my life, setting some goals, thinking about what I want to bring into this next year, what I'd like to achieve. And I like to get a head start on that in this point. I normally either will have already have bought my diary for 2025 or I'll buy it kind of like in this lull point and then I like to fill it out. I'm a planner girl. I like to physically write everything down. I like to use like different colors. I like to think about, you know, what has gone well for me this year, what I'd maybe like to do next year, and thinking about like focusing on my health. I also, if I get any money as well for gifts, I do tend to treat myself in this time of year and think like, is there something, I mean, I'm a wellness junkie, I love it, and I always think like, is there something this year that or this that I'd really like to get that might improve my wellness and I can get lots of use out for this year. For example, I am always on my laptop and on my computer, so I will probably look at getting a pair of blue light glasses just to kind of help with my eye health and things like that. So that will probably be what I'll go for this year. But I like to get a jump on the whole like New Year's tradition of like eating healthier, being a bit more mindful of your exercising and things like that. So in this point, yes, I might not be doing so much yoga, but I do like to do things like go out for walks. I might be like more conscious of what I'm putting into my body, maybe. So, like thinking more about like the salads and getting like fresh fruit and vegetables into my body. Because Christmas is over now, I'm like, let's have a bit of a detox ready for the new year. So I do like to get a bit of a jump on it as well. And I mean, I am someone who likes to journal. I just like to take this period of time to yeah, think about what I'd like to be doing, bringing forward, and just I like to use this time wisely rather than just going through the motions. And I think that's an important thing that everybody should be kind of conscious of is being grateful, thinking about what you've got, enjoying each of these seconds. I mean, like I 100%, I'm not going to be at home this lull of the year, this little point in between, but when I am, like I will fully admit that I do spend some days not even dressing out, getting out of my jammies and just like chilling, relaxing, letting my body rest. I obviously have a very physical job with the amount of yoga I'm teaching. So I like to like let my body completely do what it needs to do, listen to what you need to do. Yeah, so that's kind of my way of beating the Boxing Day blues. Is just I say this about all the time, but gratitude is the best way to help with like blues of any sort. It really is. Even if you just think of the tiniest little thing just to be grateful for and thankful for, it will just help so much. It all builds up. If you are in a position where you'd like to be doing some yoga in this point, like I said, I might not be practicing it at the moment, but it's not for any other reason than I like to give my body a little bit of a rest. I like to focus on the now. But really gentle yoga practices are always really good. Stuff that helps with digestion, maybe a bit of like lymphatic kind of movements. Yeah, things that are going to really help to kind of restore, repair the body, ready for the next year. Depending on what your goals are as well for your 2024, maybe you're one of these mad people that wants to do a marathon. So maybe start getting like a bit of stretching in, ready for like your practicing, ready for a marathon if that is something that you're doing. Things like that. Like I like to just think about what I've got ahead of me and prepare like this in this little point. I think that is pretty much it for this little episode. I'm keeping it really short, really simple, beating the Boxing Day blues kind of video or podcast episode, just trying to keep it short, simple. I really hope everybody had an amazing Christmas. And even if your Christmas wasn't the best, I really hope that you can think of something that you're really grateful for and thankful for. Even if it is just the fact that you got to wake up today and experience life, like that is amazing. That is so lucky. Maybe you're someone who's been with your family, maybe you've had lovely food, and maybe you've been lucky enough to have gifts as well. Whatever you have, however you have enjoyed this Christmas, I really hope you've had a fantastic time. I've got a lovely episode coming next on my next podcast episode. We're going to be looking at New Year's resolutions, how to keep them, and I will also be creating a little Word document that you guys can download, you can print off, and it will actually help you to achieve your New Year's goals, help to kind of plan your next year, give you some ideas, and kind of help to bring the goals, aspirations that you have for 2025 to life. So I look forward to speaking to you next week, talking all things New Year. Enjoy this little period between your Boxing Day and your New Year, and I will speak to you next week. Thanks. Bye.